Hey, Kat. Kat said breath work. Hey, Sniper. Rosie, how are you? Just give me a moment. I got shoes to put on, a watch to put on. Course of Miracles lesson to bring up, breath work to do. We're going to wait a few minutes for Anna. What? I don't remember what lesson we're on. I think yesterday was 62, right? Anyone remember? I can't keep track with everything, man. Yep, 62. Which means, if my math is correct, if my logic follows suit, we're on lesson 63. I did that all without having a count on my fingers. There she is. Hey, Anna. All right. So, who needs the breath work? Just a minute. Hey, I want to apologize that I might not have been able to get to everyone's questions last night. Um, we only had an hour with Julie, so I was hoping to get to, if not every question, at least every person who had a question. Anna says, "How are you this morning?" I'm pretty good, Anna. Considering I only have one shoe on. All right, Rosie says me. All right, we'll do breath work and then we'll go into the lesson. I'm not quite ready yet. I love these shoes, but they have a tendency to bunch up around the laces. So I got to spend extra time getting everything set up. Kat said me. What do you guys think of Julie last night? I think Julie, if it's possible, Spotify has free podcasts. There's others that I could pay for. And I like the fact that it has an easy upload, one button. I'm a one button kind of guy. Don't give me two buttons. Don't give me choices. Just give me a button to press and I'm good to go. I had faith. I knew I could do it. And I knew that you had faith in me. I got two shoes on. Verzi says she was very pretty and awesome. She was very pretty and awesome. Everyone has, some people say no finger wagging. I'm going to say no button pressing, at least not this early. I agree. But there's two platforms. There's three platforms that I know of that I can do a YouTube to podcast. Two of them have one button only pressing. And I like that. But Spotify is free. And of course, you can upgrade. But I might have to press some buttons. That's okay. In each life, a little button pushing must fall. Feel free to quote me on that. We have a guest this afternoon too. I have a guest tomorrow afternoon, and we have a guest, Julie Burst, coming up on Friday, and I believe I have a guest Saturday evening. Pretty cool. Nothing for next week yet, but hopefully. So help me out here, guys. Breath work. What are we working with this morning? It is a busy week. Rosie, where are we? Where are we this morning? Let's tailor that breath work. Do we need something easy, gliding into the morning or the afternoon, whatever the case may be? Or do we need something a little more arresting? Meaning, do we feel like we're maybe not in a great spot and we need to address it now? Hey, what's wrong? We need some easy work. All right, let's do some easy work. Let's do some very gentle breathing. We're going to breathe in for 4. We're going to breathe out for 4. There's going to be a brief, uncounted moment in between. What we want to do is utilize that ujjayi breath. The ujjayi breath is a slight and very light constriction of the throat. We don't purposely constrict the throat. It happens when we make a particular sound. The sound is our own breath as if we're snoring. So pretend that you have a mirror in front of you and make a as if you're fogging up a mirror, as if you're imitating someone snoring very lightly, as if you have a miniature Darth Vader sitting in your throat. Did you do it? Now do the same thing, but with your mouth closed. So we breathe in, and now same mirror that we're going to fog up, that we're going to pretend to fog up, but with the mouth closed. Perfect. I knew you guys could do it. Now let's do the same thing, but with breathing in. Same sound. That we're breathing in, we're making that gentle snoring sound, and we snore out. If you did just that, it would be very soothing. This could guide you through anxiety, panic attacks. It can put you at ease. It improves your breathing because you're constricting it. You only bring in a little air, a little air, a little air, and you're letting a little air out at the same time. So let's close our eyes and let's practice that for just a moment. Eyes closed, shrug your shoulders, and then gently let them fall. And as your shoulders fall down towards the earth, every little bit of tension, all that weight of self-expectation, feeling like you're letting everyone down, the anxiety, all of it is just falling off the edges of the shoulders, all the way down through your fingers and into the earth, and the earth absorbs everything and offers only love in return. So we're sitting here and we're breathing. Bring some very, very soft attention to the very tip of your nose. And notice that as you breathe in, you feel that passage of air. And as you breathe out, you feel that passage of air. Bring your attention down to your belly. Notice that when you breathe in, the belly rises. And as you exhale, the belly falls. You can think of that as an ocean's wave. Breathing in, the ocean wave expands, heads towards the shore. And as you exhale, it retracts, heading back to the ocean. In and out. As we contemplate the ocean, introduce that sound of the ocean. Ujjayi breathing, that ha sound. Breathing in, breathing out. And just spend a moment listening to the sound of the breath. And on this next breath, breathe in and count 2, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4, and out for 2, 3, 4. Sound of the ocean for 2, 3, 4. Sound of the ocean for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Out for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out 2, 3, 4. With your eyes still closed, relaxed, let the breath go. Allow it to settle into its own easy and natural rhythm, and consider that you are the light of the world that brings peace to every mind through your forgiveness. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Lesson 63. How holy are you who have the power to bring peace to every mind? How blessed are you who can learn to recognize the means for letting this be done through you? What purpose could you have that would bring peace to greater happiness, that would bring you to greater happiness? You are indeed the light of the world with such a function. The Son of God looks to you for his redemption. It is yours to give him, for it belongs to you. Accept no trivial purpose or meaning, desire in its place, or you will forget your function and leave the Son of God in hell. This is no idle request that is being asked of you. You are being asked to accept salvation, that it may be yours to give. Recognizing the importance of this function, we'll be happy to remember it very often today. We will begin the day by acknowledging it and close the day with thought of it and bringing the thought of it to our awareness. And throughout the day, we will repeat this as often as we can. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. I am the means God has appointed for the salvation of the world. If you close your eyes, you will probably find it easier to let the related thoughts come to you in the minute or two that you should devote to considering this. Do not, however, wait for such an opportunity. No chance should be lost by reinforcing today's idea. Remember that God's Son looks to you for his salvation, and who but yourself must be his son? So as we sit here for just a moment longer with your eyes closed, consider the source of your happiness isn't what anyone can do for you. The source of your happiness, the source of peace, the source of true joy is what can you do for another? And that is you're practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is recognizing the light that appears within someone else so that we see it within ourselves. We are literally igniting each mind with a remembrance of their own holiness. Look upon everyone, no matter what it seems they might have done, in the light of that innocence, and guess what? We recognize our own, because the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness, not through anyone else's. I'm not asking anyone to forgive me. I'm forgiving myself. I'm forgiving others. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I'll see you in the chat. Let me say hi to our good friend, William. William, how are you? Anthony, how are you? Sorry, guys, that I could not say hi to everyone when we were doing the breath work. Frank, you still here? Frank, you can 3D a brand new life right now. David B., I don't know if I will remember to say that to Skits when I see him, but I bet you'll run into him soon. Hey, Hamlada. Hamlada, how are you, my friend? Today, Indian Festival Holy Songs. I have heard. I have two good friends in India. He sent me messages this morning. And it says, thank you so much, Yogi. I feel joyful, calm, and at peace. Awesome. You're welcome, Rosie. Guys, I hope you subscribe and visit our good friend Hamlada. Happy Holly to you, my friend. William says, it's interesting that we contemplate readily the positive dimensions, but by itself it declares the existence of negative. Why is that? Nothing absent of its whole self. We do all the dissection. I mean, first that again. How many times must I say I have lived this life more than once? Thanks, what's wrong? And it says, I'm doing well. You, Anthony? How have you been doing today? We're going to shoot for about half an hour, guys. We have a brief moment without rain, and then it's going to rain all day. I think it's going to rain all the way through the week. Hey, Thug. Kat says, yes, the breathwork and lesson together was good. Thanks, Yogi. You're welcome, Kat. Kat says, had a Thug. Anna says, slow environment. Did I miss environment? Hey, environment, I didn't see you come in. Yet we could search for our suffering at the other end of the spectrum. Man, I've never had a search for my suffering ever. Ever. Always finds me exactly where I am. If you're searching for your suffering, I recommend turning around, going the opposite direction. Don't need to find it, guys. We also don't need to deny it. So I'm going to read what I wrote this morning. It is not yet fully posted. I'm working on it. And it was titled Everything I Want. Pat says, turn your head and, what did she say? And look at the sun rising ahead of you. Absolutely. Turn around, bright eyes. It's a total eclipse of the heart. At least every now and then. Everything I want. And so for me, it's nothing but the practice. There's no longer any concern about awakening, final or otherwise. The Course in Miracles has a beautiful lesson, 122, stating that forgiveness offers everything I need. And this has been certainly proven to be true now. This is a radical form of forgiveness, a purity of seeing everyone alike within a holy instant. Really, it's recognition, looking deep enough within the appearance of another in order to fully find my own self peeking through. Light, recognizing light. After years of accumulated caregiving for my aging parents, being present at the end of life for both of them, I have a singular benchmark for my practice. Am I awake enough to be kind at any given moment? Am I able to bring patience to the forefront of every situation? Am I at peace right now with whatever might be happening? And the answer, quite frankly, is no. At least not always. But I have a practice, and it truly does offer me everything I want. Forgiveness infinitely brings me back to center every single time. No waiting and without need of anything other than a little willingness to turn all of my troubles over to the Holy Spirit to be met with an unconditional light of understanding. Nothing is held back, everything surrendered, and in this moment, my own holy instant, I'm healed, ready for whatever might follow. So I mentioned this before. I spent since my teens what could probably be called a spiritual seeker, right? Always looking for that next best thing. I sort of, there wasn't really a frantic energy until maybe later of needing that awakening, that enlightenment. It was really based on curiosity. Maybe I'd consider myself more of a spiritual explorer than a seeker. But at some point, after you've read enough on um, spiritualities and these awakening moments, and that you've experienced some yourself, your meditation deepens and you start thinking, I really want that ultimate sense of awakening permanently. I want to step over that threshold. But that began to shift when I became a caregiver. Ultimate enlightenment took a back seat. Here's what I found. My practice, specifically meditation, breath work, and of course miracles, brought me instant peace. I was able to forgive myself for my impatience, the appearance of my parents in their decline, and everything that fell in between. I found the most important thing was, can I be kind right now? To my parents, to myself. Can I be patient in any situation that called for patience? And guess what? Most specifically, when you're dealing with dementia, patience is required every moment. Every moment. So that was this morning's writing and contemplation. I got to clean it up a little bit. I found some typos as I was reading it. Keep life simple. You're welcome, my friend. And you know what? Your title perfectly sums it up. I no longer need the complications. Keep it simple. I practice forgiveness in every possible moment. Life is going to bring you life stuff. Why is this happening to me? How bad can it get? I can't believe this is happening again. This sucks. Yeah, that's life. It's life in the fast lane of the illusion. Things happen. Can I be kind? Can I be patient? Can I be patient? Can I be kind? Repeat. Put it on the rinse and recycle mode. And then keep doing it. This is happening. So what? And I don't mean that flippantly. I don't mean it in a dismissive way. It's happening. Guess what? It's happening for someone else. And something worse than your worst right now is happening to them. But it doesn't always happen, right? Sometimes we step outside and we feel that warmth of sun meeting the face. We see that first hint of daylight coming. Sometimes we feel a warm satisfaction that everything is just right now. Maybe the next moment things are going to suck again. Right now. What's happening right now? What's happening right now? Don't look outside this moment. But I don't have this, or I want this, or this is going to happen. What's happening right now in this instant? Can you take a breath? Are your eyes open? Is your heart beating? Guess what? There are infinite possibilities right now. The only time anything ever happens is right now. And I said, simplify, simplify, simplify. Henry David Thoreau, in which he wrote that in a letter to Emerson, in which Emerson replied back very succinctly, I believe one simplify would suffice. Thank you, life, my friend. Life says, please laugh. I was about to laugh because I was looking at what my mustache and beard are actually doing right now. Its own independent thing. Completely oblivious to the rest of my face. My facial hair never asks for permission to do anything. I just wake up and it's doing stuff. It needs to settle down. Laughter is the key. So within the quiet mind of eternity itself, perfect stillness, the mind of God, there crept a tiny mad idea in which we remember not to laugh. The tiny mad idea was, what would it be like to be our own creators? What would it be like to be separate from the source? Which is an impossibility. God is perfect completeness. Nothing can be incomplete. And yet we are such powerful co-creators with God that that mad idea in which we remembered not to laugh created an entire illusory world filled with suffering and some good things too, but a lot of suffering. And yet, right now, none of it truly exists. We're still at home in the mind of God. The way we wake up is Anna's suggestion. Laughter. Laughter is the key. Kat says, I was just thinking how fuzzy and soft you're looking and just felt a whole bunch of love for you. So good morning. I love you, Yogi. Well, thank you, Kat. Fuzzy and soft. Fuzzy and soft. Anna says, I recognize the ego and I laugh at the ego. Anna says, I don't take the ego seriously. Sipa says, light and dark are not mutually exclusive opposites, but exist as a superposition of states defined by wave-particle duality. Anna says, Anna, I was laughing at the nonsense of the Who makes me laugh a lot all day. If I can just lighten up and see it. Barmat says, I find darkness to be the lack of light. Can that which is all-encompassing have an opposite? I'm going to give you wisdom once more from Conan. Contemplate that thought on the tree of woe. Conan was a barbarian, so of course he's going to be a little melodramatic, those barbarians. I have found that barbarians themselves have a very, very vivid lack of sense of humor. Anytime you're asked to contemplate something on the tree of woe, it's not going to be a good time, guys. You ever gone into a party and walked in and the host says, just hang your jacket up there over by the tree of woe? You know it's not going to be a good party. If you walk into a party and they have a tree of woe and everyone's coats are underneath of it, my suggestion, turn around, guys. It's not going to be a good time. I have been to such parties. No good ever comes from it. Hey, Bella Boo Kitty. One of my favorite names. We haven't seen you for a bit. Arnold was Conan. Yes, agreed, agreed. I don't know if anyone can step into that role again. Probably. There was talk of The Rock doing a remake. Can't see it. I guess I think we did it. Half an hour. Um, the seed is already inside the seed, and all the way down, just like the turtles. Fireman says because light regulates the darkness, not the other way around. What if you only see light? What if light is all there is? Everyone needs to look for themselves. All right, I'm going to go. I love you guys. I'll be back 1 o'clock with a guest, and that is Robert Lintz. Robert, during the 2008 recession, had his own construction business that took a huge major hit. Ended up losing money. So here's what he did. He rented out his house. He took a budget of $15 a day, food expenses. The only major thing that he had was his cell phone, um, you know, food fees, due, whatever it's called, payment. And he hopped on a bike, decided to pedal across America, living on $15 a day, thereabouts. And he did it all across America. This was a while ago. He wrote a book about it. He also, I think around that time, discovered A Course in Miracles. Then he discovered Disappearance of the Universe. And then he discovered Kenneth Wapnick, which made everything make sense. A great source for him was Kenneth Wapnick's book, um, uh, Jesus and Forgiveness, or Forgiveness and Jesus. I have it in the other room, and I can't think of the title. The Meeting Point of Christianity and A Course in Miracles. And everything started making sense for him. And he's coming up this afternoon. Hey, user. And we're going to have a conversation. God bless you. What's wrong? Thank you, Malibu Kitty. So we're going to talk to him this afternoon at 1 o'clock. If you got questions about what's it like to pedal across America, if you want to ask questions about Course in Miracles, about Kenneth Wapnick, who for me was the premier teacher, still teaching me 13 years after his death. All right. Thank you. Keep life simple. All of you guys. I love you. Take care.